All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing great. This is Tuesday, March 23rd, 2021. First thing we're going to do, a little bit of agenda. Same thing we do here in the room every single morning. I'm going to give you a quick note on the ES futures and then my plan for the day. Today is keeping it pretty simple, but I want to go over that for you just so you can kind of understand where my mind is at, where my sentiment, and then we'll go into a few names. And then if we have some time, we'll open it up to our members here and see if there's anything you guys would like to take a look at. Just so you can see the format of the screen here itself, we are going to, let's go ahead and add the chat in here on the window. Okay, first things first, we have my current positions. This is from a live account. My trades are taken right from the brokerage account here with Thinkorswim and sent in milliseconds, just so that traders can see what I'm trading, what I'm getting in, and when I'm getting out, which is a really neat feature. I believe we are the only ones out there that actually do this. Um, but you can, let me just go ahead and show you what this looks like really quick. And we're going to bring up a little drawing tool here. All right. So let's give you a quick format. Up here are my current positions. They are going to scroll across the screen. And then right here, we are looking at the weekly. And then here, I'm going to either change it to the day or the 4 hour, depending on my sentiment for the day. And then over here is the Discord room. And so we'll get to that here in a second. First things first, on ES futures, so far we are inside on the weekly and we're testing the 618 of yesterday's move. Notice we came in 618. This is the golden Fibonacci. And basically, wherever you are measuring, if this cannot break, then the trend is still intact. So very, very important that the 618 holds today. I have two alerts set here, all right? And they are at 39.38 and a quarter and 38.96 and 3/4. When one of those goes off, I'll get active, more active here in the room. The only thing that I may do this morning is sell some premium or trim positions, okay? I would say at least for the first 30 minutes to an hour. My levels today, the bulls need 39.31, and the reason why, it needs to get above that 23.6 of that yesterday's move. Okay. All right. And then right here, weekly trend change is 39.07 underneath the 618. And then the bears, I'm not too concerned unless they start to break down below the trendy edge, which is that yellow line down there. Okay. So right now, our weekly range, we're looking at 39.66 and we're looking at 38.86. So as you can see, you're looking at price is right in the middle. There's that saying, don't diddle in the middle. And this is the reason why I'm going to be pretty, quiet for the morning. Again, until those alerts go off, all right? So a couple things to point out here. We have resistance right around this pink line around 39.21 to 39.32. So just be careful as we push into here on open, as we could see a rejection. Okay, so again, please stay patient. As far as EMAs are concerned, for the futures, ES futures on the daily, we are above the 9 EMA cloud, but we are resting on the trendy edge. We need to build a base above this base at 39.33. Again, I'm going to keep saying it, 30 minutes to an hour. On the weekly, it's inside. As long as we stay inside, things are looking tight and choppy. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. First chart I'm going to look at is Apple. All right, so I am currently in this trade, and let's go over here into our alerts right here. And this is what they look like when they come through. And you can see, these are some of our alerts from yesterday. I won't go through all of those, but Apple I added towards the end of the day, a larger position at $1.23 as buying next week. The reason why is because it's pretty choppy. And then I bought out of the money, so a lower delta. I wasn't willing to go at the money or in the money yet, just because we're not necessarily trending. Let's go ahead and go over Apple. I'm going to give you guys a trade plan if you're not already in it, and then talk about the continuation of the trade plan that I'm in. So far the trendy edge is this pink line that's on your screen. We look for this to be support when price is above it. And as you can see, price is holding the trendy edge. However, on the weekly here, we are in the cloud. Anytime we're in the cloud, expect price to be bumpy. Okay, it's just like flying in an airplane, maybe a little bit of turbulence in here. So what I'm looking at is further out of the money. This allows me and gives me a little bit more flexibility for these wide ranges, but also I'm buying time. Okay, so I'm being patient on this trade. Now notice over here on the daily, we're underneath or we're still in the cloud. And then over here on the 4 hour is the reason why I took the trade. Okay, so yesterday I took this as we're melting up into the cloud, and then I added as we moved over. We were able to trim this trade as well. Right now, we open up or close to opening up. We're above the cloud. Notice we're getting tight here. Things are starting to point up just a tad. We are inside for several hours here, 4, 8, 12, 16, working on a nice 20 hours just hanging out on the inside of this big chaotic candle. All right. So a plan would look something like this. Let's go ahead and measure from the breakout or the chaotic candle. I'm going to identify the 618, which is down here. So if you're not in this trade, this is the area that I would expect to hold of this range. So I'm going to go ahead and just put risk on here. And again, this is for a new trade, and I will probably most likely use this as well. All right, so the risk is down here at 121.45. Current price is 123 and some change. Basically, it's about $2. The ATR is about $8 for the week. That does fall in line, about $2 for the day. If we can stay above this cloud, I'm looking for price to push up into my next target here at or around. I'm going to actually bring this down just a tad, folks. I apologize. I'm bringing this down just a little bit, about right there. 125.44. Okay, so we're going to set an alert here. This will let me know that I need to trim out of my positions. Okay, and then I'm going to set an alert down here right before we get here. And I can also change an OCO bracket or just kind of work within the option to get me out of it without looking at the screens. But I should be in front of the screens at least for 90 minutes this morning, maybe even just a tad bit longer. This is our trade plan. Risk 121.45. Support is at 120.59. Depending on your time frame, I would expect for some reason if Apple were to pull back into this section, most likely buyers would step in and we would find ourselves at a sideways trend here. Okay, if we break out above this level, this starts to give me a little bit of goosebumps. My probabilities start to go up just a tad more, and I'm looking for that move into 125.44. Okay, again, this is our Apple setup. This is what it looks like. It should open up pretty flat. We'll take a look at it as we open up here. Okay, that's AAPL. Next one I want to look at is Amazon. I noticed this morning Amazon was already up even when the market was down. Is it time for Amazon? We'll see. A lot of these FANG stocks look exactly the same. Over here on the weekly, we are in the 9 EMA cloud. We're making higher lows but lower highs. This means chop. This means in the trendy room, we go smaller allocation and wider stops to allow for the choppiness in here. In my opinion, time is better in these trades, especially during the cycle in the market. It has not been easy. We're not trending. Over here on the 4 hour on Amazon, still looks great. It's holding above the EMA. And the reason why I'm using a 4 hour, everyone, is because the market's not trending. You have to be able to be open to taking profits quickly. All right? Because if you don't, theta is killing you on the options. On equity, it's a different story, and we do trade equity as well. The plan here on Amazon, your support is at 30.81 and down into 30.34. That's a wide range. How I want to trade this is if for some reason Amazon were to pull back, I'm not interested until we reclaim my major level here. There's a trendy edge underneath this risk of about 30.82, okay, on a reclaim only. If we could take out, just like Apple, you can see we're building a shelf here. We're inside for the last several hours. If we can build a base above this cluster of inside candles, then I believe the high probability is we should see 31.53. Now let's go over here really quickly into the SPY. And we use here what's called the neutral strategy. I got to make sure that we're on the right date. So we're going to go to 322. We need to change this to 322 as well. All right, and there's our neutral strategy that we put together this weekend. Now we are in the neutral. We're at the trendy edge. Therefore, we need to just kind of sit on our hands, and that's why we set those alerts that are on the ES futures. Okay, so just hang out, stay patient, and feel comfortable that on the weekly we continue to stay above the 9 EMA. Over here on the 4-hour, let's zoom in just a tad. You can see we're right at the cloud. So a lot of things are shaping up the same exact way. On a higher time frame, you're in this choppiness. On a lower time frame, we're really looking for the 4-hour to work out. If it doesn't work out, then I would look for further continuation. This would be your support or your resistance. So you could just kind of take the top of this cloud on SPY and take this inside candle right here and just say, hey, as long as price can't get up there, this could be a continued short into or around 389 to 388. Now overall, I started a position very small yesterday as we broke above the neutral. I'm looking for 394 and 396. My stop right now is 387. Again, that might sound wide to you, but this is a very small trade and I'm giving it a wider stop. We do want this to start moving as fast as we can though, above this inside and down. So the bulls need at or around 393 and a quarter. 393 and a quarter. So what's going on in the Qs, right? Everybody's talking about the Qs. We did really well. We made money on our Qs. We bought when most were fearful, and we did it right around the trendy edge down here. Let me put you guys on the 322 chart. So we can kind of take a look and see what's going on here. This is a very This is a very easy strategy that I put together, and it's as simple as taking the trade long as we break above the neutral into the targets provided to the upside. Right now, we are still above the neutral. We did create an inside candle. The Qs are trying to push up slowly into a little bit of supply here on a smaller time frame. Once we break above this, I would expect 321.11 and then 322.56. This is top of the range here for the week, so just be careful in this area if we get there. As far as support is concerned, just like SPY and everything else I've shown you this morning, use this 4-hour cloud for now. If you're comfortable and you are swinging, just understand that the Qs are above the cloud. We're coming off an inside and up. We are making higher lows. And matter of fact, it is rounding off here. This is one of my favorite setups. I'll be looking for this. Once we get into here, Trendy members know what we're going for. We have a high probability of breaking out into that 335 level. All right. We're going to open it up right there and we are going to stop at 813. Now, if anybody would like to look at a chart, please let me know and I'll be happy to take a look and give you my opinions on that chart and kind of draw out a trading plan for you. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Let's look at Adobe. All right, so ADBE, this is your weekly chart again on the left. Lots of chop. We broke underneath the cloud. We're just starting to get back into it. We're making higher lows and we're right at the ME. Okay, so we're going to take the top. This is indeed a neutral strategy setup. The reason why it's going to be neutral is you have two trendy edges that are resistance when price is underneath. So right here can be neutral up into around 458. That means if I want to take the trade to the upside, I'm starting small. Now, far as this chaotic candle that we got yesterday, this looks like Apple and everything else. I want you to go ahead and measure from this chaotic candle. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. And for me, I would not want price to drop under this 451 level. I'm going to come down a little bit. Okay, and we're going to make this red. And we're going to name it risk because this is the risk if you end up taking the trade right away. There we go. All right, so here it is right here. This lets you know 451, not bad for a stock that's trading 400 and something dollars. All right. And so what we're looking for is a little bit of resistance in here, just like the rest of the market. Please understand that. Adobe's going to have a hard time in here, but if it could break out and create a base above this block, we could see prices start to form and then push higher into the decelerator, which is 471. Okay. So again, 451. That's my risk. I'm going to come up here. My next target is going to be just underneath the decelerator. And you can see that is in line with a little bit of selling pressure and top wicks. And then above that, of course, we're going to pick the accelerator at around 484. Okay, and again, these don't have to be perfect, but they do work very well. That is your trade plan for Adobe. All right, let's go ahead and look at PIN. And here in a few minutes, I'll finish up about 5 or 6 minutes before we start. And if you want this chart, then I can just throw it there in the main chat, okay? Let's go ahead and erase this, clear the drawing set. All right, and again, 4 hour on the right, that's what I'm picking for today. And then we want to make sure that we're paying attention to the bigger picture. All right, so here on the weekly with PENN, I want to make sure that's what you're asking for. PENN. All right, so we could see that we are just sideways. We have lower highs and higher lows. Definitely a sideways trend. Not my favorite setup. This is something if you're into spreads, I'd much be, rather be selling iron condors or just, the credit spread, the put credit spreads or the call credit spreads. Right now, I would imagine that price is pretty much settling in between 131 and then we would find support at or around, see this green arrow here. This is part of the script. You guys know that. This is where I'd be interested in buying. So I'd be selling credit at these numbers, you know. But again, this thing only moves about $15 or so. So that falls in there. You can still make some money selling credit. If you're just interested in directional, then I'm going to take you over here to the 4 hour chart. On the 4 hour chart, we're underneath the cloud, we're underneath the edge, and all of this is resistance and not the easiest trade. Also, in this cluster in the cloud and so forth, if you follow price and look over to the left, we have a big situation here with the inside and down on a 4 hour. Basically, you're just kind of bumping into resistance. I'm not saying that price cannot continue and melt up, but the first thing I think about when I see this big red arrow here and I think about the market conditions, we have support here, but we have resistance here. It's very much range bound, which means if price pushes very quickly and then pulls back on you by the time you buy, your theta is going to get smashed in here. Therefore, I do like selling credit more on a trade like PIN. Okay. All right. And then Omer, BAC. Let's go ahead and take a look there. All right, so on BAC, let's take some of these lines off. Matter of fact, I'm gonna clear, let's see, clear the strong set. Yes, just like that. All right, we do not have an inside candle, right? So everybody knows here at Trendy, we look for that first inside candle as a reversal. If you notice here, Omer, what's interesting is if I wanted to kind of look for the formations that we teach. I'm looking for price to actually pick up at some point, and if it's going to close this week by Friday, I would look for BAC to close above 38. All right, and that should make sense to you. So I'm going to find the base of this previous week, and I'm just going to identify it's basically 38 by 38.54. All right. And so I would expect price to at some point push into this inside. Whether it wants to continue up, who knows? But this formation here is not this is not much of a high probability that will continue down. All right. Now over here on the 4 hour, you're probably bringing this up because you see, you see some opportunity here. We came down into the trendy edge, which are these yellow lines. We found support and we're kind of opening up right here at a trendy edge, right? And if we look across here, we do have some green arrows. We have some hammers that came out of this. So we understand that we could just take these. You could draw a box and come up to the trendy edge, and you could say, hey, this is support here. All right. And our resistance is going to come up here around the top of this yellow, around 39.63. So far as this week is concerned, it is Tuesday, BAC. The likelihood of it taking out the high is pretty low, above 40. It looks range bound, just like everything else. It could only move up into 38.54 by 39, settle around 38.5 this week. If it cannot hold this gray box, probability suggests we will see 36. Okay. Yeah, I did Apple already. And let's go ahead and go over here into Netflix. We've had a couple ideas go past me from some of our members here in the room. We gave you a trade plan on this yesterday, and you can see we were underneath the ME as we closed. You can see the green box is holding. Overall, I'm looking for the red box. As we are looking, we are up about $6 to $7 here on Netflix. Continues to move nice. This is like Facebook yesterday. I want you to look up and to the left. There is this resistance point, and if we were to draw this out, this is what the trade would look like. Nice little U shape, probably pull back into the trendy edge, and then later on moving up towards the red box. The journey on this trade is from green to red. How we get there, how you sustain and stay in the trade is all coached here at Trendy Trading. These levels here, the yellow and the pink, this would be a neutral for me, just like this, okay? You can identify those levels if you like, and basically you're looking at this. 523 to 530 is neutral. We're pretty close to that as the bid and ask are 530. The risk itself would be 523 and a half, and our target's 536, 543. Now you do have these in the trade plans already. Okay, so if we come over here, take a look at trade plans. You can see here we have Tesla, Google, Netflix, Apple, Facebook, Target, Etsy, Apps, Sava, QS, DMTK, and Match. All of these did really well yesterday. QS is one of those that we were able to trim several times. And if we take you over here into the alerts, you could see that this is very important actually. And let's go ahead and talk about it. QS rate stops the entry. Okay, that's what we did after we trimmed several times. What that means, if you're going to see that annotation by me, it means at that point, I have so little shares that we're just riding free. Okay. And then last night, they gapped down a little bit and they're popping up a little bit. I'm not concerned at all. I'm at a point where the allocation is so small, we've already taken profits. Just kind of relax and see what it wants to do today. Okay. All right, and for those late bloomers, let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and take a look at Apple just really quick. Apple, what I'm doing is just waiting for the 4 hour. Okay, once again, just waiting for the 4 hour. We need to stay above this cloud. We got several inside candles. The bigger breakout happens over 123.88, looking for 125.39, and then to top it off for the week, around 126.30. Okay. This is a nice rounding pattern, just like Fang. This is why we concentrated in Fang this week, and it is working out. Let's go ahead and pop over here really quick to match MTCH. All right, so same thing, rounding. We came into the edges, look for the support. We came into the edges, look for support. Your risk right now is 151.39. I'm looking for a move into 161. Now you can bring this down a tad. So if we're just going for the top of these, let me go ahead and show you this, folks. We're going to zoom in here and see how we have topping wicks across here and we have the sell-off candle. You could just take a line and run it right through here and be looking for 157.5 by 158. But above that, again, 161. All right. Big thing here, you can see we're trying to break the trend line yesterday. Price really needs to get above this trendy edge, we're going to go ahead and create alert at or above right there. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and set an alert down here at or below. There we go. And let's go ahead and take a look at Google, and then we'll look at Tesla. All right, so Google, this was perfect from yesterday. I gave you guys a trade plan here that really at the end of the day would have worked out really nice for you. We came down into this level here. This is where you'd sell put credit spreads. Price immediately went up, so these levels worked very well. We're trading, as far as this week is concerned, off of 2015. And if the market can start to go bid and things start to turn around, we could see 2082 by 2101 on Google. Okay, keep it simple. Again, though, I'd like the iron condor on this trade as we can manage those. So again, call credit spreads up towards this way, put credit spreads down here. All right, let's move to Tesla. You know, this is not just Tesla. This is not just Amazon. The entire market, in my opinion, has not been easy to trade. You have to take profits quickly. You have to understand where good levels are to ensure you have great targets. You have to understand where the best entry is on trading. And if you don't have any of that, Trendy Trading can help you. I will help you become a consistent trader and how to set up nice trade plans. That's what we do. All right. So always entry, stop, and target, even on options, unless we pay under our allocation, and therefore I can let a trade go to zero. Nothing wrong with that. So here on Tesla, what is going on? It's the same exact story. We're making higher lows, lower highs. It's a sideways trend. Selling premium in conditions like this are probably the best fit. However, if you cannot sell premium, then what do? You try to get in at the very best spot. Believe it or not, folks, the best place to go for calls is when price is going down into a level. Price came down into the trendy edges, you could see, and then we started to pick up from here. And as we moved close into the trendy edge, we look for it to be resistance when price is under, and it did sell off. We're sitting right here at the 4-hour cloud. I would just wait, give it time like the rest of the market. We're talking about 30 minutes to about an hour. Just stay patient. If you can't stay patient, maybe shut off the computer and come back, okay? Find something else to do. Other than that, I'm going to leave us there at 827. Very important. We're going to pull up the ES futures. This is my driver for the entire market. I'm going to actually put this on a 5-minute chart. And believe it or not, this PMZ, the reason why we put it on the 5-minute chart is because I use my indicator here called the pre-market zone. This thing has high probabilities of working out for me. This is what we call a negative positive. The box is red and price is above that box, making it a negative positive. I'd like to see a move if this level right here can hold. I'm looking for a move into the line in the sand, and I would be careful as we approach that. That's all I have to say for this morning. Let's go ahead and chill. I'm going to listen to a little bit of music, just kind of hang out, and then we'll get back to it here shortly. All right, so how are you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Is it a good day for you? Are you ready to have a good day? Are you ready to stay positive? Law of attraction. So important to stay positive. All right, guys. I'm a huge believer in law of attraction, right? We have to stay positive. And at the, the best, if you're just hanging out, if you're not doing well, take a loss. I can't tell you how many times people they hold on to hope. They just hold on to hope, man. I hope this thing's coming up, right? And it just can really crush your week, or it really messes with your psyche. It messes up your confidence. Listen, our job is to make you as mechanical as possible with a higher probability trades. And once you become mechanical, it means simply following a process. It means, hey, I'm getting in this. I have a stop. Listen to my stop. I've already accepted the loss. Carry on, move on, right? And then we just trade. And if you get stopped out, you move on. We have a lot of setups here. All right, let's see if we can make our way towards a list here. That'd be nice. What's the weather like there, RJR? Remember, we're trying to wait for about 30, 45 minutes here. Maybe now. Beautiful, finally. Good. We're supposed to get a bunch of thunderstorms, so. And I'm going to set an alert under the PMZ. And I'm going to set an alert here at the list. Good. And then I'm going to come over here to Apple really quick and see what it's doing. It's down a little bit. Not too bad. Did push up there for a second. And let's see if we throw some Fibonacci on here and kind of show you guys some stuff. See if these little levels are going to work here. Just like that. And we're going to open this. It's going to look weird over here on the left, but there you go. Just set the alerts and stay patient. I'd love to see a red to green day today. Not sure it's going to happen, but that's kind of what we're hanging out for. No trades as of yet. Those Fibonacci's look crazy on here. I'm going to take those off. If you guys been doing this long enough, then you know. All right. Yeah, let's get back over here to the ES. See how we're doing. All right, we're trying to make our way into the line in the sand up here. So far, if you're into VWAP and so forth, we are hanging above there. Remember, the higher probability trade is to get us up into the line in the sand and then reject. So kind of be looking for this and then this. And the rejection doesn't have to be big. You just kind of, we don't want, if you're a bull, when price pushes up into this level, we don't want it to pull more than about 25% of the range from here. So again, 25% would be about right there. And then I'd expect this. Let's see what can happen here. And let's go over here to Amazon really quick, see what's setting up. Okay, so far, nice little move. Over here on the weekly, this is really cool. So when you guys are learning all this, if you're just concentrating on these small candles, then you're kind of confused. You're like, well, what just happened here? I bought my options here, price pulled back and smacked me in the face. Well, this is what happened. Come over here. You always need to be looking at the bigger picture, folks. So on the weekly, we're bumping up against the cloud. We need to build a base above that cloud. Then you could see this starting to continue. All right. All right, so we're not going to stay on too long, but thank you so much for checking us out. We're just going to stay patient here for a little bit, and we'll keep you updated throughout the day. If you have any questions, please reach out to trendytrading.co or just come check us out on a trial. It's super inexpensive. You get a lot of value. We do have some great coupons for membership and for the trial itself. Remember, a good trade plan keeps you out of trades, but also lets you know when to get into the trade. So again, right now, just kind of hanging out.